Okay, so tonight what I'm going to do is start with what we were doing today in math class where we were building these complex figures, finding the area and perimeter of them. But then I'm going to take it a step further tonight, so pay close attention to what that step is. So I'm going to go ahead here and build my complex figure. Okay, so I'll start like that. Okay, so here's my complex figure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this inside or on my notebook, but I'm not going to do my squares on the inside. So I'm just going to go ahead and outline this. And what you'll do is pause the video after I am done drawing it so that you draw it in your notebook. All right, so for right now, just watch what I do. I'm going to go ahead and outline, like I said, my shape. There we go. And I'm going to write that I have 4 that go across the top, so I'll just put 4 units. I have 3 on this side, 3 down here, 2 units, 1 unit, and 1 unit. Okay, so I have it outlined, I have my dimensions written down. Now I'm going to get rid of my tiles. So how do you find a complex figure if it's just drawn on your paper this way? That's what I'm going to show you tonight. I briefly mentioned it in small groups today that you could take your complex figure and divide it up. So that's what I'm going to essentially do with my paper. I'm going to divide my complex figure into the rectangles that are there when I brought that were inside my complex figure. So the rectangles that created my complex figure. So that's what that dashed line is. That dashed line is representing me splitting my complex figure up. Let me bring my complex figure in one more time so you can see what that line represented. So here's my complex figure. And what I did in my on my paper, in the illustration, I drew that dotted line to show that I am separating this complex figure into 2 rectangles. And now I can apply the formula for area to find my complex figure's area. Okay? Okay. So, first, before I'm going to go ahead, before I find the area, I'm first going to just add up all my sides. We figured that out today. Add up all the sides, that equals perimeter. So perimeter, you add up the sides. So 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 gives me a perimeter of 7, 10, 12, and 14. So 14 units is my perimeter. Now, finding the area. The dotted line, again, is showing how I separated it into 2 rectangles. So what I'm going to do is apply my formula for area, which is length times width, but I'm doing it for 2 separate rectangles. So I'm going to go ahead and use 2 different colors to represent me finding the area for 2 rectangles. So I'll first start with this little rectangle up here. Since I'm choosing to use the color brown, I'm going to go ahead and shade in that rectangle brown. Now, we know we're doing length times width, okay? Length times width. So I need to do 1 times 1. So area equals 1 times 1. That's pretty easy to solve. The area is 1. So 1 square unit. Now let's find the area of the second one, the one that was huge. Okay? Okay, I know I'm doing length times width. This rectangle that is brown is now not there. So I can see I covered it up and everything. So what am I going to use to multiply? Well, I'm going to use my 3 down here, okay, 3 for my length times 3 for my width. 3 times 3. So that gives me an area of 9 square units. So the area of my whole complex figure would be 1 plus 9, and it equals 10. 10 square units. Shazam. There's our area. Now, let's look at the tiles for that. And I'll explain to you what I did. So I separated them by drawing that dotted line. I found the area of my brown right here, which only had a length of 1 and a width of 1. So it only has an area of 1 square unit. So that was my brown right there. For my pink, I did the rest of it. And I did 3, because there's 3 for the length, times 3, 3 for the width, and that gave me 9. Let's count it. We have 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. When you add those two numbers together, you get 10. Okay, so short and sweet. That's what this video is all about. So here's what I want you to do. I am going to make another one here that I want you to solve for your log. So for Wednesday night, you'll circle yes if you watched it, and you will write down what you learned. And your math problem from the video will be the answer for the perimeter and the answer for your area of the complex figure I'm getting ready to show you. Okay, so here's your complex figure. There you go. Actually, let me add a couple more here. Okay, so there's the complex figure. I'm obviously stopping the video now, but if you need to pause the video to get this down in your notes so that you can find the perimeter and find the area, please do so. And then I'll see you tomorrow with your perimeter and your area of this complex figure.